And welcome back to coverage of the Tencent LPL Summer. We're in week 4, day 1 here with our second game. Invictus Gaming there on the left, your blue side here for this one, versus Positive Energy on the right here as we continue on with LPL coverage. My name is Pastry Time. I'm joined by Papa Smithy. Papa, a great opening game there as Royal there up against EPHK. Finally pick up a win.
Absolutely, and now we see Invictus Gaming against Positive Energy, and these two teams are kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of form, in terms of when you have Invictus Gaming really struggled against World Elite, really struggled against OMG, just woefully out of form. Against Positive Energy, of course, just took down World Elite in the last game of week 3 there. A VOD that you should definitely check out. It was a great game. I mean, Invictus Gaming, you never really know which Invictus Gaming you'll see. Sometimes you see the massive early aggression. Sometimes you see, playing for the late game. They have a lot of gears to their play, but they've really struggled at the end of last week. PDD is almost the barometer. The one game we saw PDD do well on Rise, he got massive and carried, but it was well held by Xiaomei. It was well held against OMG. PDD, let's see how he does today.
Yeah, the band's complete here as well. They're IG going with Twitch and Caitlyn, so double 80 carry bands there, and Elise as their third. Positive Energy on the other side. Going to throw in Twisted Fate, Thresh, and Zac as their 3, and very curiously, first pick Karthus for Invictus Gaming.
Now, of course, Jojo played a fantastic Karthus against World Elite, part of their space comp. They were controlling so much space with that Karthus. They just let Twitch, Name on Twitch, of course, just run wild. So Twitch taken away, Karthus stolen away. They want to see what Positive Energy have left in the tank.
Positive Energy thinking about, just swapped away there, but we had Shyvana one more time as the potential to move through here. Lee Sin also selected. Sona, Lee Sin are the picks here for Positive Energy. So they're going to run it with those ones here. Rise is still open. They could definitely pick it. You mentioned PDD on Rise. That was top Rise as well. So they have the option of picking that one up here if they want it. I don't think we're going to see Vayne Draven, but Vayne at Rise is going to be the picks here for 2 and 3.
And so many scary damage threats Pastry Time. It's one of those comps where Vayne should be left to do what she wants in a team fight, just because how are you going to get past all of Karthus' space control and, of course, the really tanky, the really high damage Rise? If those 3 picks by themselves, if those 3 champions do well, it's hard to see Invictus Gaming losing.
And I don't know what's going on with these picks. I'm just kind of watching Positive Energy flick through champions, and all sorts of shenanigans are happening. I saw Quinn. I saw craziness, but looks like maybe we'll settle on a Shen Ezreal here. We definitely are going to have a Shen. Be interesting to see if we have Ezreal as well, and yes, we are.
And this is super interesting to me just because we've got 4 picks now with Positive Energy. We don't have their mid laner yet. Of course, it could be a mid lane Ezreal. But only one real damage threat coming out here. Only the, potentially the blue Ezreal, who of course be able to kite for himself. But then the Shen pick. So, Shen and Ezreal I don't think go too well together just because, Shen is a fairly low damage champion. It kind of forces you to have those 2 damage threats. And it's best for a champion like Vayne, which is on the IG side here, or a Twitch, an immobile carry who needs that shield. But with Ezreal, a champion who you kind of pick to peel for himself, I have real concerns about damage, but of course we should wait till the 5th pick comes out here.
Yeah, well, IG, of course, they've got those 3 very big carries. What are they going to put in for support? Looks like Shyvana is going to make another appearance here, and that Lulu is going to round out the IG lineup. It's kind of, this is very classic, it almost feels like. You have 3 carries, you have 2 supports. That's a lot of how people have kind of divided up team comps to League of Legends, and right now for IG, that is exactly what they have on the table.
And Orianna, potentially the last, but yeah, it's locked in here. A very low damage comp here coming out of Positive Energy. The engage is decent with Lee Sin with the ball, but they only really have 1 ball carrier, given that Shen will most likely be split pushing. I'm not sure what Positive Energy is going for here, Pastry Time. I'm ready to be surprised, though.
Yeah, it's almost like they're putting a lot of eggs in Shen's basket, right? Maybe they're just going to say, hey, we're going to play safe, stick in our lanes, and just push and play the split push game as long as we can. Not too sure, of course. Over on the IG side, we know exactly what we're getting. We're getting massive double AP threats in Rise and Karthus, and then a hyper carry Vayne to tie it all together. For damage, Shyvana's going to be their front line, and Lulu's actually very good with Shyvana, so kind of enhances the qualities there, and Lulu just generally a good support. Lulu was at one point the support that kind of did everything. A little surprising to me to not see someone like Nami, but kind of one of the problems with a lane like Vayne Nami, as you've noted, Papa, is that it's a little too weak in the early game, so I think IJ wanted to boost that dual lane a little bit more with Lulu.
And no Nami picks actually in either of our games so far is super interesting. I mean, her pick rate in the OGN, I believe, I believe she's the most picked champion there. And I believe even has the highest win rate as well. So, I mean, Nami has been just doing amazingly a lot of work in the Korean scene. No Nami here today. I mean, I can't get past just how amazingly strong we see the Invictus Gaming lineup here. You know exactly what team fights will look like. You'll see Karthus and Ryze controlling terrain. Shyvana ulting and being that scary dragon with a lot of damage, then getting the Lulu ult. I mean, we all look back fondly to Lulu Shyvana interactions from CJ Entis Blaze, of course, who had that beautiful Shyvana ult into Last Boy Lulu ult timing to get them knock up there. There's just so many things to like on the Invictus Gaming side. PE have a strong comp, but damage is certainly not their strong function.
No, and I think, as you mentioned, what Positive Energy do with this comp is going to be really important. This is one of those things where it's a comp you look at and kind of see, okay, I can see some of the synergy, but I don't quite get what it does, right? And it's almost might be one of those things where I can't remember which game it was, but there was a game where we had some very strange comps, and it turned out that comp was completely made to just CC the enemy to death. If that's what Positive Energy want to do, if they can play that comp, or this comp I should say, to a T and really abuse their CC, then they're looking really good here. The other thing, of course, I mean, Jin could get silly fed, and then he could start doing crazy things. I mean, there are snowball options here for both Shen and Lee Sin that I think work well here for Positive Energy's early game, but just in general, Popper, I have to agree, not too sure what we're going to see, especially if we have any sort of even mid-game, although there's a tie. Oh goodness, he's not standing in the right spot there. Gonna get checked to the brush. Sika gonna find it there as well. The layaway's coming through though, but there's the Q coming out. Needs more Q. At least it misses though, and that's unfortunately news there. I think Zatai probably still would have lived, but would have liked some vision. Maybe could have seen some flashes come through. Maybe Sika looking for the flash exhaust, but Zatai gonna escape with his life pretty comfortably there, and everybody else from IG is gonna walk back to their jungle.
Yeah, importantly, their Shen wasn't grouped with his team at that point. There was no flash taunt or just taunt available there, so they didn't have that CC engaged. They threw out some skill shot damage, but Zatai is fortunate to live there, you have to say.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess the only CC, as you point out, was probably Kanan's taunt, but he's just going to return to lane now and be a very, very happy camper about it, as he's going to just try and last it as best he can. Looks like buffs are getting started off here, or have been started, I should say. Probably almost finished there. Shyvana down towards the red, going to pick that one up. And everybody down the bottom is going to move into lane now. So we're going to have everything nice and steady. Hit no fast push with the Lulu's going to come out. Just 2v2 down the bottom, one in the mid, one in the top.
Absolutely. I mean, standard lanes is almost unstandard, non-standard at this point, given all the mixing up. But, we finally saw Shyvana not get that snowball going. It certainly wasn't the young, glorious Shyvana last game, as EPHK's Shyvana player really did struggle. Let's see how Illusion does here. He's been kind of an eclectic jungler. A lot of damage items on Nocturne, the Tiger Udyr in the first week. He's been definitely doing some offbeat stuff, but we've definitely seen Shyvana's dominate already.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, with the way Illusion's been playing as the trade's on the bottom, Shatter actually forced a flash, a very nice double slow, but Positive Energy really sicking here. Sika actually doing work on Sona, being very, very aggressive in the early levels, so that's providing them some nice trade potential down the bottom. And Jing almost died in the jungle, by the way, but he did manage to pick up double buffs, and he'll be okay for now. I think if you're going to give a jungler like Illusion a high damage jungler, I think Shyvana has to fit the bill. He's even started with a Doran's Blade here.
Absolutely, and Doran's Blade start when you can get away from it, spending all your gold on a cost-effective item and not spending any gold on consumables. And we see the Lee Sin, of course, with a Dawn's Blade start as well. I mean, it just feels so great having all that effective stats so early in the game.
It kind of explains why both junglers got quite low in their own jungle, but no one there to invade for them. Everyone's going to walk back now. Can pick up some other items. Double Doran's now finished up for Illusion, so going very aggressive here. Be interesting to see when either of these junglers decide to gank. I think in particular Jing. Be really curious to see if those Doran's Blades help out. I mean, right now, if anybody finds Illusion 1v1, he's just going to punch them in the face with Q, and it's going to do so much damage.
And Jing just needs to be the person who takes this game by the scruff of the neck. The one thing they do have, Positive Energy, is an advantage in terms of jungle pressure. So Lisa needs to start snowballing these lanes.
Just looking for Zatai in the mid now as well. They're going to try and set something up. Camping very patiently in this brush. Shyvana now rotating up as well as Illusion. Maybe going to get stuff done. I think Zatai kind of knows what's happening though. But Jing, he's ready. He's got a ward down. He can ward jump over the wall and kick Karthus if he ever walks around here. I mean, he's actually waiting a long time. Then now goes in. The Tempest comes through there. The slow in as well. A good bit of damage. But Illusion's not going to run in. The damage is going to come through. But Jing does safeguard himself out of the way. And Illusion's pressure, very, very nice from both junglers actually. Very patient there from Jing, and really nice counter gank there to completely quell that pressure over on the PE side.
And the counterplay to those Shyvana ganks is just to ensure that she uses the duration of burnout to close the distance. If she doesn't get those auto attacks in, you don't get that 5-6 second duration burnout. It only becomes really a gap closer. It can't be used for that massive damage potential.
Yeah, and Shyvana, as we know, if there's one thing she does do, it is really do damage, especially early on here with something like double drones. Now Jing up the top, gonna look for PDD. There's the flash forward. Canines with the taunt, actually, and beautiful first blood there. PDD almost asleep on the job there in top lane.
And the taunt flash, beautiful play from Shen to cancel the
wasn't
animation there.
Yeah, it wasn't even just, you're right, it wasn't flash taunt, it was the other one, which even more deadly there, and poor PDD, I guess, can't really be blamed for being asleep there. That was a brutal CC from K9s, and Jing there with plenty of damage on Lee Sin. The follow-up means PDD forced to teleport back to top lane, and he's going to try one more time.
In general, Ryze has a very favorable matchup against Shen just because, he has that range to be able to just wail away on Shen, and Shen can really only
the damage from
hold
Illusion. Name forced the Arcane Shift out of the way. Condemn actually into the tower there. Almost doing enough damage there for Sona. One Silver Bolts proc away. May have actually been the kill there, but down the bottom. Illusion just going to finally show himself for a bit of gank. And that Sona, who's very, very squishy, really crumples under that Shyvana damage.
If the Lee Sin pressure can get Shen ahead here, and if he can pick up an early Spirit Visage to have that global presence with the 20% cooldown reduction, maybe that's the key here. Well holding Ryze and getting Shen an advantage in his lane.
No, Kid, Requiem down the bottom. That's bad news for Sika. Goodbye, Sona. And Zatai's going to clean that one up, though. Kid, very low here. Shaftar's coming through, but a good slow. There is Illusion. Flashes forward for the auto attack to pick up Name. And very, very nice play there from IG. Really using that global Karth Assault to great effect. I mean, that was very tight there, that level 6 timing to get it done. But everything lines up perfectly there for IG. And now they're 2-1 up on the board in kills.
Absolutely, and that's just experience play from ZJ. That's knowing exactly when you're going to ping 6 and using it before the enemy team can react to it.
Yep, Zatai, they're going to get ganked up as well. Beautiful Q there from Jing to follow up on that Karthus, but Jojo not quite in range there to use the ultimate, unfortunately. Had Ignite up as well, so probably could have all in Zatai and maybe gotten a kill there if they'd blown everything, but not quite in position there for that one. Jing trying to take the ganks where he can, nice and opportunistically, but Zatai's probably going to back off here as Karthus. Never mind. Jing's still around the mid, but he does back off. Oops, sees Karthus, thinks about it again. Zatai's actually chugging through a couple potions there, so he doesn't feel too bad right now. And Illusion, really, all you have to do is Shyvana. I mean, as you said, Papa, her ganks aren't great, but with boots and mobility up now as well, all Illusion has to do is be in the right place at the right time.
I mean, her ganks are great for what they are. They're not CC ganks. They're not what you expect out of a jungler. They're damage ganks. And if you have any ability by your laners to hold people in position, Shyvana's damage is incredible.
I actually thought one of the interesting things about that last bottom lane gank was, I just noticed it briefly before, but Kid's actually maxing Silver Bolts first. And I kind of looked at it being like, that's interesting, I wonder why he's doing that. And I think it has something to do with how the Lulu slow works, because obviously you're basically, never mind, Kid just has a second point in Silver Bolts and then one in Tumble. I guess he's mixing it up a little, but he definitely had 2 points at level 4.
MVP Ozone Imps actually commented on item choices here, as we see P try and get the dragon here. I mean, Shyvana's on the wrong side of the jungle. May not be able to contest to try and DPS it as fast as possible.
Looking for a steal there, but doesn't quite get it. At least Ezreal, going to pick up that one there. So good job from P to get that. Force slash from Nami. Illusion in there with Dragon's Ascent. Gets exhausted. A beautiful Orianna roll to try and disengage everybody else. And that's a very, very nice usage there to make sure everything's nice and free. Jojo even got Stands United upon as well. K9's kind of wasting that cooldown there, but just to make sure they walk out scot-free with the Dragon. P, positive energy, blow a couple of cooldowns there, and they're able to pick up Dragon pretty cleanly.
And I'm just coming back to Vayne there. Imp, a very famous Vayne player.
Standing in the wrong spot, unfortunately. I think he will get away. Never mind, there's the Q follow-up. Jing, not level 6 yet, but needs to look for the slow. If he has it, probably on cooldown here. Kanon's getting full for the taunt. Ignite's in there as well, but PDD going to try and block it off, though. Jing coming through now. Managed to get enough done, and the Ignite will pick it up as a war jump into the AoE damage for Tempest is enough to pick up the kill there with Ignite for Shen.
A nice play there, absolutely. I mean, the max range E magic damage only does about 60-70 damage at level 1, but picks up the kill. I mean, Silver Bolts has become the standard max at this point just because it synergizes so well with Blade the Ruined King. But you get that early point, the second point in Condemn to have that trading ability. So it's definitely an Asian thing. It's definitely something that Korean and Chinese players have been doing rather than Double Lift. It still goes with the Tumble Max, but it's a style choice that we see out of a lot of these Asian AD carries.
So second point Tumble or second point Condemn? Because he has
you get a second point in Tumble, not necessarily at level 2, but you get it very early, and then you default to the Silver Bolts Max.
There we go, that makes sense. I imagine that's what Kid's going. If I see him pop down my bottom left-hand side corner of the screen, I'll have a look again. PDD here, actually looking okay as you pop up to Rise. He's got double Sapphire Crystal here and a Tear of the Goddess. He's really
He'll put them
pumping
to
hard.
use at some point, basically.
Absolutely, but this is, I mean, PDD and IG in general was certainly a team that were known for being quite aggressive, and that was really kind of, they looked good when they were in an aggressive spot. You know, they could play from a lot of different angles, and they still can, but if they were ahead, they looked really, really good. You know, they kind of did some off-the-wall stuff. This is PDD for me. He's just very aggressive, really loves to win his lane and dominate his lane opponent. And right now against Shen, CS looking good, but double Sapphire Crystal against Spirit Visage, just trying to kill this Shen at all costs, or at least force him out of lane. This is, I'd say this is classic PDD Rise, I guess.
And look, he's going for the maximum cost-effective damage output, but you look over here, Shen has completed that Spirit Visage. Zitai here, in trouble.
Could be there as Jing goes through. There's a good wall jump coming through as well. The damage coming through does manage to flush the Orianna ult, so everything's going to be okay. Jing even getting out there, queuing himself off towards a minion so he can fly out of the counter gank that was coming. So nice mechanical play there from Jing. Manages to burn a flash in mid, and yeah, everything's going to return back to normal.
And people have just, really started to move on to this Spirit Visage rush just because of the 20% cooldown reduction with your, 3 and plus minute cooldown. Shen ultimate at early levels, massive.
And here comes Jing now as well. PDD kick back in there. Beautiful kick there, and there's the follow-up E to finish him off. Very, very nice wraparound there from Jing and PDD. We talked about it before. He likes to be aggressive. A little too far forward there for that one, and that was a beautifully well-executed jump there from Jing to pick up the kill.
And you have to hope the recent trend of if PDD struggles in lane, IG struggles to win, doesn't come to bear, because of course we saw PDD playing Rise very recently.
Oh, Xiaoshot getting blown up here, but double knock-up, forced to flash in there as well. Name looks for the kill, almost finds the Q there. Now Requiem's going to come down. Kid actually looking to go in there as well. Illusion around the side, looks for damage. Sika using the ultimate there to try and stem them off, but Kid still coming up. The K9s is here though, manages to get the taunt onto Kid. He flashes forward looking for the damage. Now a teleport coming through as PDD finds his way in, and Illusion's going to pick up another kill. PDD looking for the Rune Prism, finds it there under K9's. Damage going to come in now. The taunt over the top there for Shen to get him out of the way, and beautiful counterplay there from IG, kind of using their globals to really, really hammer down the bottom lane.
But they do get the answering turret up top here. Lee Sin able to solo push it after Shen comes down. 2 people, 2 deaths for a turret, not too bad from a positive energy point of view.
IG playing sneaky, they're hiding in the fog of war. Zatai had a nice wall to try and follow up for the gank, and they're going to try and pressure off this mid turret, but Jojo was kind of aware, actually burnt the flash very, very quickly there after walking through Wall of Pain, just to make sure nothing too bad happened. IG going to pick up this bottom tower now as well to answer the one that was just taken in the top, and this game's still very close here. All of a sudden, the map's really starting to open up.
And speaking of speed, absolute power farming here by Zitai to pick up the very, very early Rod of Ages. He actually has 1,000 gold in the bank to complement that Rod of Ages, so feeling great. Whereas now PDD's build starting to reflect that he's struggling a little bit. He'd want to have at least the Catalyst finished at the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, just a spare Ruby Crystal that he got after he died. So, I mean, he's been farming up here. Shen's keeping up nicely, though, in CS. And, oh my goodness, that's a lot of magic resist. Has a second Negatron Cloak here. So, clearly, K9 does not want to leave his lane anytime soon up against PDD. And, it's working so far. Jing with an early Oracles here as well. Going to clear out some of these wards. So, I mean, if the pressure is going to start mounting here for positive energy, you have to think that Oracles is a sign that they want to move in and try and get some stuff done.
I have to think that second Negatron Cloak's just going to be left in his inventory here, just because there isn't actually that many tank options with the magic resist in this 3.9 patch. Probably going to see him build into the Sunfire next for a bit of split pushing, I'd have to think.
Yeah, and then of course once that happens, PDD really can't stand up against his Shen. I mean, probably can't do too much against him now as he just picks up his Catalyst as he goes back to buy. I mean, maybe IG are going to look to group here and get something done. If Rice can pick up a couple of kills in maybe the next fight around Dragon, then he can actually start to snowball some gold that way. And that, honestly, that's probably the best way to catch back up if you are behind, is just to get into a team fight and pick up gold there.
And he's rotating to Dragon here, to pressure some Dragon things, which would be wonderful if not for the Spirit Visage, because you look here, about 40 seconds shaved off this cooldown. It'll be up very shortly.
Jingo taking a little bit of pressure. Illusion very fast there, and Shyvana running in there, but Lee Sin will manage to back out there. Kanan's his ult almost back up here now as well. Should be back up in a couple seconds. Likely be level 11 when he comes in now as well. But IG are moving in for this Dragon. They want to try and get it now, and they need to. I mean, really, they've got to kind of move it on this one. The cooldown still not back up there, and Shyvana already finished up the Dragon. The knuckle there coming in for Lulu, and Xiaosha tries to get stuff done. Great crescendo ultimate combo there from Orianna. An absolute obliteration there from PE as they wipe through members of IG off the map. Their Illusion, though, chasing in Kid with that Vayne passive, looking to get in there as well. But everybody kind of wants to back away. Here's the tie. I believe uses his ultimate. In fact, maybe not. I think it's still back there. But I mean, IG we asked what Positive Energy's comp does. That is a beautiful example of how to win a team fight.
And that's just not their comp. That's just some really smart positioning coming out of Positive Energy there. And the Spirit Visage came out trumps. If they had been timing the Stand United there and didn't take into account that 20% CDR, that would open up about a 30-second window where Stand United theoretically would have been down. But with all that CDR, Stand United just on a much, much shorter cooldown.
Yeah, I think was 11 when he came in as well. Certainly 11 now for K9s as he moves through it all. So Positive Energy looking nice here. I mean, that's really kind of what their comp is doing. In fact, we're going to get to see this again here. Jing, you can see the Stand United coming in. K9s managed to find it. There's Sonoka for Chasha. Illusion trying to knock him out of the way, but beautiful ults there. Crescendo moving in for the Orianna. And I mean, really a great fight there. I mean, we asked what does their comp do? Lee Sin goes in, Shin goes in on top of him, and then you find the best person to give the ball, and you completely AoE IG.
And you look down the IG comp and wonder what should have gone differently in a team fight they'd win. I mean, Ryze exploded to AoE damage there, pastry time, much faster than you'd expect. He isn't the tanky, I'll stand the AoE, eat it all, and then kill you kind of Ryze at this point. He's still working on that Rod of Age. It's probably going to be about 18 to 20 minutes. So PDD's behind here, and so PE's burst is sticking. They are able to use their respectable damage, definitely not a strong damage team, but they're able to use their respectable damage right now, and it's working. But you feel like it's a ticking clock, pastry time. If this game goes another 20 minutes, hard to see a fight that IG can't win.
I agree, and I think that really explains the early oracles here for Jing. You know, he knows he has to get pressure early on for his team. Positive Energy know they've got to make something happen. They've got 3 towers down to 1 right now. They're ahead on kills. They're ahead on dragons too, I believe. I think they have both of them in the last 2 fights. So, I mean, they've got a nice advantage here. They need to carry it through, though, in the next 10 minutes and really just get an advantage where either they win the game or they're in a position where it's very, very difficult to lose the game.
Yeah, apart from Zitai, everyone else a bit struggling here. I mean, Zitai has had that Rod of Ages for a long time. I think it'll be fully charged just after the 20-minute mark, but no Rod of Ages on Ryze, no Blade the Ruin King on Vayne. They still have certain item timings to start to become relevant in these team fights, especially Ryze. Ryze needs to be able to get in damage range and live through team fights, and it feels like that's still quite a while away compared to, I mean, working on the Iceborne Gauntlet is Ezreal. Shen is a super, super tanky man, a lot of magic resist. He can easily tank through the damage that Ryze is doing. And Orianna looking strong.
Tank through the Karthus damage as well, don't forget. I mean, PDD just clearing out the waves here on top, trying to hold off the Shen push, but as soon as that Sunfire Cape finishes up, Kanon's going to be able to push very, very swiftly here. And Positive Energy, at this spot, with the 3 towers down, can really just start to move through and control the center of the map. I mean, they can put Shen top, they can move someone down to the empty lane and bottom lane if they want to there as well. I mean, they've got control over Baron. I don't think they're going to try and rush it anytime soon, but you can see them moving through, getting wards down. I think Lee Sin's still got his oracles as well, so Positive Energy, I mean, they needed to get an early lead and really make the mid-game happen here, and that's exactly what they're doing with the comp that they've picked.
It's only 2,500 gold here, pastry time, so here will be my big prediction for the game. Rod of Ages just finished on Ryze. If he gets fully charged and the gold lead stays below 5k, I think IG have this game.
All right, so around the 30-minute mark or 28-minute mark there as the clock does start ticking. I mean, you said it does definitely feel like this game is kind of a ticking time bomb. IG certainly have the late game in their hands here if they can make the game, extend the game to that point. So they understand Positive Energy is PDD in trouble there in the top lane. Kanan gets in there with a Q and just damage everywhere as he executes him with a kick.
And PDD, no fun at all. He has that Rod of Ages. I guess, you know, the grim reality is that, hey, at least it ticks while you're dead, right? But a lot of death this game. PDD definitely struggling the last 3 times we've seen him.
Yeah, I mean, and just right now, 0-4-0 on that Ryze. He's just getting bullied at this point by Positive Energy. And I mean, Shen, it's not going to get any better. Eventually, he's going to be able to actually start pushing out these waves quickly, and PDD certainly cannot handle it. Maybe somebody else can if they send someone off like Vayne, but I think if they send almost anybody else, they're in trouble there as Kid takes a big chunk of damage from Orianna combo.
And you have to remember, Ryze is a favorable matchup against Shen. He should be able to wail away. He should be able to win the 1v1 there. I mean, we always used to talk about the Renekton versus Shen matchup where Shen might outscale Renekton. I mean, Shen does not outscale Ryze. But Ryze gets stronger and stronger, but the ganking pressure from Lee Sin has kind of warped this top lane. It should be Ryze getting free damage that sticks on this Shen. but that's very far away from the reality.
Yeah, instead it's Spirit Visage providing bonus regen and a ton of magic resist on top of that as well, and K9's is completely immovable basically against this Rise there in the top, so looking good here for Positive Energy. Still moving forward here, Dragon a couple minutes away, so probably not going to see that one right now. Just a lot of lane pressure generally being put out here, and I mean Positive Energy, I think they know they don't really have a good team to siege. There's no objective to try and take. Baron's a little far off now. It'd be kind of hard to rush it at this point as we approach 20 minutes, and Dragon, as I said, not back up for a couple minutes, so I like that they're just, moving through the map here. Illusion with an Oracle's trying to counter off some of these aggressive wards is a nice move here as well, but as long as they maintain pressure on the map and keep doing what they're doing, they're going to keep getting gold, and if the gold difference stays here, I don't think Positive Energy mind too much for maybe the next few minutes, but as you said, Papa, I think in 10 minutes time could be a very different game if IG just get to keep farming here.
It'll be interesting to see if Positive Energy Invictus Gaming try and contest the next Dragon. I believe it's about to spawn now. It doesn't feel like their items are quite there, so I think they'll be smart, and it looks like, they don't have the wall coverage, but I don't think reacting to Dragon will be a smart move here from IG.
Oh, you are in fact a prophet. Dragon did come up and then swiftly dispatched there from Positive Energy. So
the next one, Pastry Time, 26 minutes, Rise will have a mostly ticked up Rod of Ages. They showed that Ezreal was at 550 stacks on his Manamune, so Mirror Mana will be completed by then. The next fight will tell us a lot about this game.
I think so too. I mean, it's really just a matter of what PE can get done in that time. IG actually grouping up now as 4 round towards the mid lane. The one thing they're definitely lacking in this game that is kind of almost always such a big sore thumb that really just sticks out is the fact that they don't have any towers at this point. It makes things hard to do. Illusion going to move through the jungle. Nama actually flashing very aggressively there. I think trying to get the kill. The red buff slow still coming through. PDD moving in there as well. A ward being thrown down there as well. Xiaoxiao forced to flash over the top, being chased out there by Jing. So that was kind of funny to see. I think Name may have misflashed there trying to chase after that Shyvana, but Illusion gets very, very low there, and Positive Energy have a window. Honestly, if they want to, they can just move through with that low Shyvana and try and create some pressure here in the tier 2.
Yeah, they have 2 ranged champions to auto-attack down these turrets. They push fine. And I guess, one thing that might have been downsold is they do get picks quite well. They do have Orianna, they do have Lee Sin and Sona.
Oh, there's on the PDD. Speaking of picks, Crescendo in there as well. And that's again poor PDD getting completely picked up. K9's comes through as well, using that Sand United to get that team fight going to tie. Chunked down by that Orianna, who just completely bursts down everyone. And Positive Energy, again, some really, really tight play there. Just finding that one little Orianna ult to get some damage done. And that's all they need, apparently, to go and do Baron.
Now, they're smelling about Baron Pastry Time, but if you have a look here, the teleport is up on Rise, so this would be a very, very aggressive move from Positive Energy.
They're looking for the bait. They actually realized that they walked through a bunch of wards. Sika walked past one of the first ones in the bush. They managed to be like, hey, they have a ward here. Maybe we shouldn't do this. Still going to try and set up the bait maybe, but I think they think the better of it and probably wish they went for their tier 2 at this point because I think they would have been able to get that in that situation. But instead, leave empty-handed there after getting a couple of kills. As you said, Papa, do certainly use their ults well. And Jojo's been playing very well on Orianna to really make sure that ball is always in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, they're getting those picks, and that's the important thing here. Shen taunt, potentially, if he's grouped. The Lee Sin, the potential to do an insect-like play and be able to get behind and kick PDD into the team, as he did there. Orianna, their Sona Flash ulti. They do have initiation, and that's not something IG have, but of course IG's team fight just gets crazy. So, Jojo here, backing should be okay.
Yeah, backing in vision of the enemy. Thinks about it, it's like, I'll walk a little closer back towards my turret.
If only he knew the pain that could potentially have awaited him.
Nope. Apparently he's going to scout out this blue buff, wants to make sure that doesn't get taken away. So good presence of mind there from Orianna. Jing going to rotate here as well. I think that's going to be the end of that potential steal there for IG. You can see Lee Sin just hanging out, just waiting, being like, yeah, come. He's going to be the gatekeeper for the blue buff, I guess. So make sure IG gets zoned out of that one. K9's now finished up his Sunfire cape, so he's ready now to go into full-on Shen split push mode if he so desires. And PDD with items still ticking away. I have to think he wants to. And again, Positive Energy just looking for pressure where they can find it. Muramana pops in there as well for Ezreal. And looks like Zoni's has finished up for Orianna. So really some nice item timings here coming out. We've got an Aegis completed up on Lee Sin as well. There's no time like the present, I think, for Positive Energy. Because as we said, IG, really once they get the game going, they're going to look much, much better if we get into any sort of mid-late, late-game teamfight situation.
Yeah, but I mean, so much credit to especially Jing here. 4-0-3, a massive score on Lee Sin. He's just been so effective. We've actually seen Lee Sin ganks rather than the Lee Sin wave clear or the kind of neutral Lee Sins we've seen in the past few games. But the gank pressure from Jing has been massive.
Yeah, he's really just been everywhere, controlling a lot of the map, kind of guiding him through that early game that they really wanted to get ahead in to try and get through this mid game. And it shows Positive Energy have a nice little lead here in the mid game. The gold difference, not massive here, but just the way the comps kind of play out. The time for Positive Energy's comp to really move in when they have a lead is right now, and they're doing really, really well with the pacing of this game.
Shen's ult is up. They have a lot of options.
Illusion's going to go in. Crescendo misses their crucial, but a good ult there from Oriana. A nice defensive Zonis as well. So Zonis in the middle, but there's the Stand United over the top. But IG chasing out the rest of them. Now the Requiem's going to come in for Zatai. The damage absolutely massive there as P.D.D. still getting chunked down though. Jojo almost gets out there, but Kid condemns K9s into a wall. And IG, beautiful damage control in that team fight. And a crucial missed ult there for Sika on Sono. That was very bad news to get 5-1 there for PE.
Absolutely. Sono had the only answer to the initiation wombo coming from IG. 25 minutes into the game, if they pick up Baron here, maybe then momentum would just start to shift.
Well, the gold difference certainly going to get a lot closer if they pick this up. It's already narrowed by just a little bit of gold, and Positive Energy, I have to be thinking, how do we make a mistake here? But IG, I think they are going to get this Baron here. They should just have enough damage. It's really, really dangerous because they're getting very, very low, but they do manage to pick it up. All 5 members get the buff in there as well, including Carthus. Let's watch this again. So there's Illusion. He rides it in. A Crescendo misses an ult a little late there, and the rest of IG able to move through. Really, Jojo walking down towards the right-hand side of your screen kind of made things a little awkward. I mean, Zatai's standing there. He's completely cutting off the rest of PE from coming through, and IG were able to split up the rest of Positive Energy and chase them down there. And I mean, a nice ult there from Shyvana, the crucial miss ult there, and slightly late in the Oriole for Jojo, kind of made that a little awkward. And then it was funny, Carthus died and was still a roadblock, obviously, with his passive going. And then once PE split, there was no way to get back and really salvage that
And
fight.
Carthus died in such a great position, as Jojo's first movement was to think, hey, I need to get off Carthus's grave here and not take the AoE damage. But of course, he moved so far off, and he was reluctant to go back in, even with the Shen shield on. So he just wasn't in position to, use your abilities, and that's what Oriana's all about. She has that upfront burst, but then such short cooldown on her Q to be able to reposition in a team fight. Wasn't able to do that, and Jojo definitely wasn't able to take advantage of, at the time, the 3 kills, the no deaths he was at.
Yeah, and the most awkward thing there as well is that by kind of walking out reluctantly out of Carthus, he actually mispositioned Shen there as well as Shasha here. Maybe forced to flash, is forced there as he goes over the top. A little bit out of position there for Lulu, but Shasha will be safe just for now. Illusion looking to maybe chase this down as well. In fact, Kid coming through, a big combo there coming out, trying to get it down, but Jojo is going to get dropped here. The Blade of the Ruin King activated there, and the barrier users to tie here. Going to get kicked back, and the rest of the team, Jin completely making the moves here. Oh, Zatai. Not quite enough. The Zonies looks very cute, and style points are certainly awarded here, but a 1-for-1 trade there as both mids go down.
And it looks like the objective will be picked up by IG here. Looks like they will pick up the dragon, so they do win out from that 1-for-1 trade.
Shasha with no flash, got to be a little careful here. The rest of IG coming in. Illusion wants to make things happen. A good knock up there on 3 people, and Sika getting chased down, misses his ultimate again. Crucially, as Sona goes down, but Ezreal slays Lulu there, so supports are down here, but the rest of IG chasing through here. Good Rune Prison coming up here. K9's nothing he can do, but he does give Name a shield just for a little longer, but Kid still chasing down this Ezreal. Bad news there as he's forced to flash over the wall there, but Kid still looking. A good slow there from Q, but P.D.D. he's on the hunt. Again, some nice mystic shots. Will keep everybody away here, so nice play from Name to protect himself with that Iceborne Gauntlet, but IG, one little team fight's really got the snowball going, and Requiem's gonna pop Name.
And it's worth noting here, Pastry Time, look at the gold. IG, they're ahead.
They are, and by 2,000 as well, which, given that they were behind 4,000 or 5,000 just a few moments ago.
I'm not going to put my hand up as a prophet, Pastry Time, but it's 28 minutes.
Nice ult there from Jojo as well, and yes, it is indeed. IG really found their stride around the 25-minute mark, and Papa Smithy, looking good as always, makes the prediction here. And I mean, as you said it, if this game was really on a timer for Positive Energy, and that one little teamfight mistake may cost them this game.
Well, just being ahead in gold, Raya's going to go back, be able to pick up probably another item to get them a little bit more tanky here. If Rise is able to stand in the middle of a fight, which, we look down, I've harped on about the damage threats here. It's really only Oriana and Ezreal for the damage here. If Rise can live through that, he'll be at the front. Zatai will be able to get in the front. It'll take a while to die with the Zonias, but of course he's happy to die with that grave there. The distortion boots coming out from Carthus just to be able to flash into the fights. That lets you know about they've realized the lack of initiation. it's only really the Shyvana Lulu combo for initiation. So now we want to see the flashes, but PDD might be caught.
Yeah, the good chase there coming through Lee Sin, actually juking that Q there, the taunt coming through for Shen out there as well, but PDD actually walking away and really showing that, that Rod of Ages getting the work done there as he picks up the health. I have to say, one thing I really like about what PDD did here was pick up an early Void Staff. I think he realized that, what? I'm not really the super scary tanky Ryze right now that I want to be. I need something for my team in team fights, and Void Staff is the perfect item in this spot. You get extra magic pen off Spell Flux, you get plenty of it off Void Staff as well. It's very cost effective, and he really does a lot with one item that he needs to do, which is just do damage, because, as we said, he's not super scary Ryze. He's not going to do, stand in the team fight, spell vamp up 1,000,000 damage, take all the damage, and then just completely janitor everyone, If he's there just doing some AoE, fine. That's all he can do at this spot, and it's really smart from PDD.
And I agree. I mean, building an Archangel slowly probably would just made him more irrelevant in team fights. But the one thing you can say, he's now more relevant in a 1v1 against Shen, because of Shen's big magic resist stack. The Void Star's fantastic against that.
Yeah, and I mean, K9 was happy before to stand in there. Actually, Shurelius looks like activated their Jing going in, trying to do the damage. A good knock up through there as well, and that's completely bad news as Kid picks up Lee Sin. Jing a little too deep there. The ult from Orianna, beautiful there, and the True Shot Lodge comes in decently as well, but Illusion now diving in there as well. Maybe going to go down, forced to flash, but still dies there to Airsteel. Zatai now in the mix as well, looking to try and set up the Requiem. He does die though, but that's probably spells bad news. Jojo with a decent zone is maybe going to get away here. The Statue United on top of him will save him, and Name somehow still alive at the end of it all. And Karthus Requiem not available now because he's actually dead. Not in zombie form, he's straight up dead there. Kid, they're going to pick up the tower to save things up, and Positive Energy, one haymaker after another here. In fact, K9's even setting up for Xiao Xiao, but looks like Shen's going to back off towards that top lane. I mean, that one little fight did wonders for IG. That was a beautiful play there from Positive Energy.
Absolutely, and it's such a battle just to stay relevant in team fights at this point, pastry time. But Positive Energy are doing it. They still look strong. They haven't given away any key objectives at this point. And we're mostly all equal here. I mean, 3k gold at the 30-minute mark, not a big deal. Turrets are equal. It's going to be a big wrestle for vision here as we see a replay coming in.
So here's PDD, jukes the first Q there, K9's coming in, going to find the taunt there, there it is, and he's still tanky, able to walk out the rest of the damage, just juking back and forth where he can, trying to avoid the Orianna ball as well, and that was really, really nice movement there from PDD. It doesn't look like much, just look like, hey, it's Ryze, he's walking through, but he did a lot to make sure he took basically the minimum amount of damage in CC and walked away with about a third of his health as a result.
And look, it might have taken 2 games and 30 minutes on the clock, but I feel like the PED swag is starting to come back into this game.
And I mean, a fed Ryze is a very, very scary thing, or a farmed Ryze, I should say, and really IG, the items picking up. Now, I have to say for Positive Energy, though, I think we're really underrating just the presence JoJo's had. His CS is insane in this game. It's actually higher than Karthus, and Zatai's been farming amazingly on that champion. And Orianna about to finish up Rabadon's death cap probably at this point. And there we go, there's the Rabadons. Orianna's been very, very scary for a while here. If Positive Energy are going to make anything happen in this game, I think it's right now at the peak of Orianna's power.
Exactly, and if they can pick off Kid somehow, Kid 4-0 and 11 on Vayne, hasn't died, has picked up the Negatron Cloak, so we'll be taking a little bit less damage from that Orianna, but if they can somehow wombo down Kid, despite the fact there's so many damage threats on the IG side, they're all magic damage threats, and they do have a Bulwark, so that's the key thing here. If they can somehow just eliminate Kid from a fight, they have a fighting chance.
And I like what looks like both teams, looking to make the Baron dance happen here. I mean, it's very important that Baron does not get stolen away from either of these teams. You can see the Oracles there on Sika. There's likely one on IG side as well. PDD down the bottom. Actually can, funnily enough, do some split pushing here against Sheng with that teleport, which probably part of the reason he picked it up here. With blue buff as well on Ryze, kind of picking up a few more items, probably going to be able to chunk down these waves reasonably quickly. K9's, as you can see, is up towards the top here. Xiao Xiao with his Oracles has to be very, very careful, but Illusion may be going to make something happen. I mean, PDD, if he wants, can teleport. Illusion aggressive there on the Shyvana. Good knock up in there as well, but they're trying to make the follow-up happen. Jing getting caught up there by Kid, but Illusion taking so much damage there. Stand United over the top as well. A good Orianna roll as well to knock a few people in, and P just kiting for their lives right now. So Ty, though, a good Zonies, they're going to pick up K9's as Shin goes down, but Orianna cleans up the counter kill. Kid, though, still going in the Requiem, going to do a lot of damage here. That's going to blow up. Sika Jing almost dies there, and a good Zonies there from JoJo to dodge the damage. So still coming in there. Nami now with the kite picks up the last kill. PDD now probably going to get chased down as well. And Blue Ezreal so hard to get away from. They're just going to kite him as much as they can. Try and dance back and forth. Jing maybe going to walk a little too far forward. Safeguards himself to make sure he doesn't die to the overload. And it's very, very tense here. PDD doing what he wants to do. Trying to play Janitor. 3 members of Positive Energy trying to kite around him back and forth. There's the poke though from PDD. The last Q comes out from Ezreal to clean him up. And PDD, he had fancy footwork there for that one. Almost outplays them 1v3. But Positive Energy, their coordination too strong, and they do manage to pick up Rise.
But if we ever see a replay here, Pastry Time, the tunnel vision from PDD might have cost them that engage. We saw Orianna juke into the brush. That's where she activated Zhonya's. Rise just ran straight after the low health Lee Sin, wanting to finish him off, greedy for kills, unaware that both Orianna and Ezreal lived in that brush to that damage from the Requiem there. So the tunneling on killing the low health, tanky Lee Sin might have cost them having an equal kill exchange there.
Positive Energy actually going for Baron. Nami actually arcane shifted into that one, so very aggressively trying to take out this Baron, do the damage. Canone's over the top with the taunt as well. They really want to try and DPS this Baron. Well, they can. Oh, good catch there as Nami picks up Lulu. Again, nice usage of the Orianna. Oh, now Illusion going to look in for the steal, but gets picked off again as Jojo is going to get credit for that kill. Now Baron's going to go down for Positive Energy, and with Kid out of the picture, they're still a little too far forward. PDD's teleport not there either. He was back in base. That was a really, really nicely timed Baron from PE.
And what did Positive Energy have?
No, never mind. He didn't do it. Actually going to get turned around and forced to flash out there as well. He looked like he wanted to make a play on Vayne, but could not get that done.
One thing Positive Energy have in spades, Pastry Time, mobility. We look at the champions here. Lee Sin, we all know about his ward jumps. Orianna can speed up the team. Ezreal has his arcane shift, and Shen, of course, can dash around himself. And the mobility and all the kiting, as we saw on PDD there, won them a fight.
Yeah, K9's looking for that as well. Tried to go for the taunt flash, but just missing that one as the middle turret goes down. The inhibitor looking like it might go here, but Positive Energy forced to back out here as Illusion's pretty close to coming back, and everyone else from IG is already alive. I have to agree, though. I mean, I kind of mentioned at the start of the game, like, it looks like a CC comp here from Positive Energy, and it's one of those things where if you can use your CC effectively and constantly kite around, and with a champion like Orianna or a champion like Ezreal, some good tanks, great mobility, you use all those things together, you can really just pick apart an enemy in a team fight, and that's exactly what this comp does from PE. I mean, it's very difficult to play optimally. I think when you have not that many damage threats. I mean, Orianna and Ezreal are respectable damage deals, but not massive, certainly compared to something like Vayne Karthus. I think it's almost completely night and day between those two. There's just a world of difference between how much damage, those two champions do on either side. But to PE's credit, Jing's playing fantastically, Jojo's playing fantastically. They clearly picked the comp they're comfortable with, and they're executing very, very well in this game.
I mean, the execution is the key there, Pastry Time. And we look at on the IG side, I mean, Karthus and Ryze, I mean, they have so much AoE damage, but one of the reasons that Karthus has fallen off as a popular pick in the OGN is just because how does he get into a fight? The days of a Mumu jungle are mostly gone. You don't see a lot of that. So he kind of has to flash into a fight to be in a position to use his Grave effectively. I mean, we saw how strong that passive can be when Jojo was zoned out of a fight. But in the previous fights, the higher mobility from Positive Energy, they've been avoiding that passive. Ryze is being kited around. Only Vayne has really similar mobility. Vayne and Shyvana and, of course, Lulu aiding them to try and get in there and close down these threats. But proper kiting, lovely play from Positive Energy. Mostly due to, of course, PDD dying and late there and then being able to be in an advantageous position, is winning them this game.
Yeah, I mean, credit to the little things there as well. I mean, we've got the Sona E, Song of Celerity to speed things up. Even something like the speed up Dissonance from Orianna's W there is nice. I mean, yes, you can think of Lee Sin, you can think of Ezreal, but every little thing really adds up for PE, and I think more than anything, as you said, it's a testament to the way they're playing it, because this is the comp that we looked at and said, there is no way they can beat IG at 40 minutes. Guess what time it is, Papa? It's 40 minutes.
Yeah, look, they absolutely managed to out-skirmish them. They're not trying to have the 5v5 grouped fights here, just so that this Karthus is becoming a bit neutered in terms of his effectiveness.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Zedai for picking up Distortion Boots there as well. He knows what he needs to be doing, but really Positive Energy's team just not letting him here. And Blue Ezreal kind of adding a nice bit of spice to this comp as well. I mean, it's hard enough when you're trying to kill him. He's basically keeping the rest of his team safe there as well. And it's funny to think of an AD carry as a very utility-heavy champion, but really that's the greatest strength of Blue Ezreal here. And it shows here, even now in a Siege with Baron buff, of course, ticking away, making things better, just using Essence Flux to speed yourself up and really try and get the push happening is nice as well.
And Positive Energy just playing out of their skin space time. So much credit to them, showing me wrong here because they're playing smartly. And even in a fight coming up here, even with just the 2 damage threats, there are really
Jing
big
making
wins
huge
here.
plays there. PDD in trouble. Beautiful wombo combo as True Shot Barrage Crescendo and Shockwave all command onto the top of IG's head. And it's an absolute massacre, kind of in the wrong direction here. IG actually done a good job, but Jojo with a nice on his dodges everything there. And now the threats are still around for PE. There's the flash out there from Illusion. PE committed a lot to that, to getting things done. But at the end of the day, the 2 most important people still left alive. And Jojo Zondi says they are Messiah tier today. And he's playing on this Orianna. And Illusion, he's going to try and make something happen here, but he's going to take way too much damage to his credit. And looks like maybe they're even going to finish the game here.
Yeah, and look, so much credit to Name and Jojo here. We saw Royal try this when they had Ari Vayne as their only damage threats. They were kiting so well, but at the end of the day, they were core. If one of them died, they would lose a fight. Who were the 2 people alive and who won this game? Positive Energy. So much respect for just showing that thinking about the game linearly isn't always the best play here. The high mobility won them this game.
Absolutely, and just from the word go, getting aggressive, getting in there, really playing well, and then just executing every fight they needed to, even the one where IG actually got ahead in 2 straight fights, actually, and looked like they might be poised to try and take over the mid-game. Positive Energy didn't panic. They knew they could outplay their opponents. They trusted in the strength of their picks and their team fight, and just played absolutely wondrously at the end of that game.
Invictus Gaming will be pretty shell-shocked page time. That's 0-3 in their last matches, and they would have felt so confident at the 35-minute mark there, but I mean, Positive Energy just played out of their skin. So smart play there. And their 2 carries, their only 2 carries, of course, full tanks were the other 3, did them proud.
Yeah, I think it's funny kind of looking back to that last team fight and really looking at what position they played out of, because IG got completely womboed, and PE actually lost more people. They actually ended up, like, Zatai almost carried them through that team fight with Karthus, but a nasty time to ultimate there from Jojo was enough, and just, it was funny that they threw everything at they had, comboed perfectly, still didn't get all the kills that they wanted, actually lost their entire front line, and their carry still managed to clean up after that fight and win the game. I mean, a very, very impressive performance there from Positive Energy, and I mean, after that game, very excited to see we've got next one coming up, and I have to say, Papa, this game 3 may be the biggest game of the weekend. I'll put it out there. This game's going to be massive.
It's going to be massive pastry time, and I guess the last question I'll have from that game is that if PDD didn't go on that mission to assassinate Lee Sin, would that game have turned out differently?
There's a lot of little things. That was a very finely balanced game at different points, but you guys can rewatch the VOD and tell us what you think. Of course, youtube.com/LOLChamp series for all your LPL Summer needs there if you want to catch up on those VODs. And of course, you need to watch the next game. It's going to be massive. World Elite up against OMG for the game 3 here. We're in week 4, day 1 here for the Tencent LPL Summer, and we'll be right back.